Ecosystems provide a wide range of services essential to the well-being of the environment and people. These ecosystems need to be managed effectively in order to address the national priorities of poverty alleviation, unemployment, and preservation of our ecological infrastructure. Dr. Sally Archibald is an ecosystem scientist. Her research aims to develop knowledge that supports decision-making on matters pertaining to ecosystems services.
An ecologist studies the natural environment, and we're interested in understanding how plant and animal communities function. We can do it just out of pure scientific interest to see how the world works, but it's also really important, especially today where humans have such an impact on the environment, so that we can understand how best to manage our natural systems. I do a lot of work looking at fire because our ecosystems here in South Africa, as you can see, have a lot of grass in them, and grass is very flammable, so our systems burn often. I'm interested in understanding how fire affects our ecosystems, but also we want to know how global climate change is going to affect fire regimes here in Africa. Well, I really enjoy asking interesting questions about how the world works. Fundamentally, I'm a scientist. But what I like about working at the CSIR is that I also get to feel useful, because our science is often quite applied, so trying to answer a question that matters to people. I also enjoy working with students and training them up and getting them to be as excited about my research as I am. Well, as human beings, we're dependent on the natural environment. Even if we live in the city, a lot of the resources that we get come from the natural environment. So it's really important for us to manage it properly and to make sure that it continues to give us what we need into the future, and to give our children what they need into the future as well. Well, I think people often think of scientists as quite dull people who just follow a formula and do very set, rigorous research. And it's true that science involves quite a lot of structure, because we have to do research and collect data that convinces other people about certain questions. But to be a really good scientist, you also have to be quite a creative person and think of new answers to old problems, and to think of interesting ways to solve problems. So I think the most common misconception is that science doesn't involve any creativity. The CSIR is a really collaborative environment, and I have some wonderful colleagues. So we get to do really big research because my skills complement other people's skills. So I work with remote sensors, and I work with people who do modelling and people who understand climate change. So I get to answer questions that are beyond my brief, and I get to be part of a team, and I find that very exciting. If you're interested in nature and you're interested in ecology, but you also like to do work that is relevant and that might make a difference in the world, then I would suggest that you study at university. And you don't have to study only biology. If you're interested in mathematics, mathematics can help feed into your research here. If you're interested in economy and social issues, a lot of the really exciting ecological work that's happening now is going across different disciplines. So study things that interest you, and try to find mentors and people that inspire you that you can try to emulate.